In this video, we're going to break down 3 main points you want to consider when looking for a CrossFit gym near you. Now, if you're new here, my name is Hudson and my goal is to help you become more functional and fit. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for plenty more content. Now, there's one thing I want to mention before we dive into these 3 main points, and that is all CrossFit gyms are independently owned. So just because you go to one down the street doesn't mean that's the right fit for you in comparison to a gym that's 10 minutes out of the way. So what I recommend doing is finding all the gyms in your area online. I would bookmark 3 to 4 websites of these different gyms, and then after we go through all these points in the video, see how many marks they hit off of this checklist. Now, the first thing we want to point out, and the most important one in my opinion, is the coaches. Are these coaches credible? Do they have a lot of certifications? Do they have a lot of degrees? Do they have a lot of experience and background working with elderly athletes, working with younger athletes, working with people that have had injuries in the past, people that are very healthy and want to push their limits? If you have coaches that have a wide array of a background with different individuals and different types of fitness, then they're going to be more helpful towards the class and every single person that's in that class. Versus if you have someone that has 1 certification and they've been coaching for 6 months, that might be the best gym for you if you are someone that needs a lot of help because you've had some injuries in the past, or you have to modify a lot of things because you're not quite there yet with a lot of other people. So something to consider is how credible are these coaches? Now, with that being said, just because a coach has a lot of certifications and degrees doesn't make them a great coach. A great coach is someone that's able to relay their information that they know and the knowledge that they have to their members, but in a way that everyone's able to understand. So if I say a phrase and I expect everyone to understand, but half the class does, then I need to find a different way to explain to the other half of that class that didn't quite get it. So what I would do is once you find those few gyms that you really want to check out, I would ask them if you can go and sit in on a class and just watch and see how the coach interacts with the members, see how friendly they are, see how communicative they are, see if they're able to break things down thoroughly for every single person, and if they are, then that makes a great coach. On top of that, you want to make sure that they're actually passionate and actually want to help you get better and help see you grow. Some coaches just go through the motions and just see another head in the class, and they don't really give you time of day. They just kind of just do what they have to do for that class. You want to make sure there's a coach that actually wants to see you get better. Now, diving into point number 2, and the second most important in my opinion, is the programming. The reason I didn't put programming above coaching is because it doesn't matter how amazing the programming is, if you don't quite understand it and the coach isn't able to break it down to you thoroughly, then you might not get the most out of that program. So coaching is the very first thing I mentioned, then second being programming. Now, all gyms program to help people reach a similar goal. They want people to get fit and healthy, and they all do that by programming constantly varied, high-intensity functional movements. But some gyms might think differently of that meaning versus other gyms. So some gyms might program a ton of barbell work and a ton of heavy stuff and a ton of strength pieces. Some gyms might program more cardio and more gymnastics, more body weight and more progressions. So I would go to these gyms again while you're watching the coaches, get a feel for their programming, and ask the owner or the coaches, hey, what kind of focus do you have for the programming? Is it always a lot of barbell work, or is it a lot of heavy work? Is it a lot of gymnastics things? Because these are the things that I want to get better at, X, Y, and Z. Will your program be helpful for that? Now, most gyms will have an hour window for a class to get that programming done. Within that hour, do they offer a warm-up? Do they offer stretches? Do they offer a strength portion? Do they offer a cool down? Or is it just you have to get there early, warm up on your own, and then do the workout? Some gyms are okay with doing that and the members understand and are able to function with that. But if you're a brand new person, you might not know what to warm up, what to stretch, what to get activated for the exercise you have for that day. So seeing the programming, and do they offer literally everything you could possibly need to get warm, get your body ready to go, get it worked out, and then cool down to make sure you're helped to recover faster and not be too beat up for the very next day. Now, the third biggest point is the facility. And this one's gonna be very opinion-based based off of each individual, because let's say I'm a 35-year-old mom that has a toddler and I bring them in a stroller and I want them to work out next to me. If that kid's there in the stroller, I might not wanna be in a big old industrial style building with equipment all over the place and unorganized and just a lot of concrete floors and it's not very clean, versus a facility where it's more storefront. They have a front desk, there's lockers, there's things that are a lot more organized and clean and structured. I might feel safer bringing my kid in that area. But let's say I'm a 20-year-old kid, I might not care. I might go to that industrial type gym that's a little grimier because it might be $20-30 cheaper a month. So this one's very opinion based, and you can go to whichever gym you think is good enough for your standards. But one thing you really want to consider when you're at that facility is, do they have plenty of equipment for everybody in the class? Because some gyms might only have 5 barbells, but if you have a 12-person class, you might have to share a barbell. Or they might have plenty of barbells, but let's say half the barbells are really beat up and janky and you don't move fast enough, you might have to use a bar that's slightly rusted or a little bent. So obviously you want to have nice equipment that works well, that's nice and not beat up and broken and misshapen. So that's definitely one thing you want to consider. Now another thing to consider while you're in that facility is the type of individuals that are in there. Is it a lot of younger 20-year-olds that are, gun-ho, really hard workouts, just push themselves all the time? Or is it more like 40 to 50-year-olds that are a little bit slower and methodical and kind of take their time on the workouts? What kind of people do you want to work out with based off of what kind of goals you want to achieve? Also, unfortunately, some gyms will have cliques in them, and if you can see a gym that has some people that are kind of off to the side during the class and not really hang out with everyone in the class, definitely something to avoid in my opinion. You want to make sure everyone in the gym is able to get along with everybody and everyone's having a great time and it seems just like a very good vibe inside the gym. Now, since you stayed to the end of the video, I have a fourth bonus point to consider, and that is specialty classes or add-on programs. So a lot of gyms won't just have CrossFit classes. They might have a barbell class, they might have a gymnastics class, they might have a cardio class, they might have some kind of specialty class outside of their typical CrossFit structure that you might want to add to your training every now and then. So maybe you do CrossFit 3 times a week, but once a week you add that barbell to get better at your barbell movements. So that's a very nice feature that some gyms will have. It's something to consider if, hey, I want to do CrossFit, but this gym also offers a spin class. That'd be really sweet to kind of mix and match those two things. Another thing they might include is like nutrition advice. They might include personal training. They might include accessory programs you can do on your own. So that's also another really great feature because you might do the class for the hour and you're getting fitter overall, but you really want to work on one individual thing. You really want to lose that weight, or you really want to get that first muscle up, or you really want to get that first handstand. Some gyms will offer personal training or accessory programs or accessory ebooks that you can do to help make sure you're in the right track to that goal and not just kind of get steady there. You want to kind of ramp it up and make sure you get there as soon as you can. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I would go online and find 3 to 5 different gyms and look at their coaches' pages, look at their programs, look at their facility, look at their prices. Based off of all these things we mentioned in this video, how many of them do they hit and which one seems like the best fit for you before you even go into that door and have to talk to someone and get the sales pitch. You want to see, is this gym even worth my time? Is this something I want to pay this money to go to? Because from what I can see right off their website, it looks like it might be the right fit for me. Now, those are my main points for finding a CrossFit gym near you. If you guys have any questions or comments on these things, or have any other further things you want me to discuss, leave them down below in the comments. If you guys have a gym that you're already going to or a gym that you're looking at, leave that in the comment as well, and I would love to check out their website and give you my opinion if you need it. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for plenty more, and we'll see you guys in the next one.